ignore them. Because if we have created, and I think we have, a space outside of rules and regulations and outside of the law, where we can just love and trust one another, and we always know at some level what is right, what is wrong. We don't need laws, and we don't need rules and regulations. We just need what we've got. I'm very sensitive, and I can feel it tonight. We just need love. 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 Yes. 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 It's the most defiant thing we can do, bearing in mind that there either has been or is some sort of Conservative Party jamboree going on in Manchester, which is all about hate, all about selling off everything that belongs to all of us to about 20 or 24 people who will just benefit from that particular industry themselves. Call me old-fashioned, call me sentimental. It doesn't strike me as being very fair. On the subject of fairness, of course, I'm now thinking of Pam. Pam, are you... Pam, my darling, please come and join me. Can you manage over the speaker? Yeah, she's surprisingly agile. Ladies and gentlemen, Pam! Now then, Pam, what have you been up to this last week?
Well, I've been in the allotment again. I've had issues with the crab apples, but I think it's all sorted. What else have I been up to? That's about it, really. That's why I've got these boots on the whole time.
Well, they're very sensible, aren't
I'm
they?
taking a nice court shoe, as you know. Yes. Well, you've changed your footwear.
Yes, I have. I've just put these sociable slingbacks on. And to me, they're as comfortable as an old pair of trainers. I'm all for sharing. Last week, you read us something from Elder's books, which was amazing. It was a brave new world, and it very much tied in with the future. This week, what are you going to give to us, please?
Well, as you know, most weeks, in what we call words of warning, this section, I've been reading from a different dystopian text, a novel. And I thought this week, because Jerry's here, I thought it'd be nice to read a poem, actually.
That's lovely, and that's nice for Jerry, because Jerry adores poetry.
Yes, he's good at it.
At least 30, probably more like 40 years in the business, I think, with Jerry and poetry.
And it is National Poetry Day.
Well, you live and learn. Happy National Poetry Day, everyone. Lovely to see you, Richard, looking understated and beautiful as always. Don't you think that every day should be National Poetry Day? Yeah. And I think in your case it is, isn't it, Jerry, for writing things down? Okay. Do you want me to introduce the particular poet, or are you...
You probably know quite a bit about him.
Oh, W.H. Auden, yeah.
He was the sometime homosexual lover of Christopher Isherwood, wasn't he?
Really? I didn't know that they were lovers. But I know that Christopher Isherwood was no stranger to a drink. I have a feeling I would look like W.H. Auden if I didn't moisturise. No, because sometimes I forget to moisturise. And they say be very careful because your skin can soon go to look crepey. So I do moisturise, but on the odd occasion that I don't, I just catch a sight of myself in the mirror and I think, is that an elephant? I see an eye. I've had a load of wrinkles. Still here. I'd like to think, still got it. Pam, are you ready?
Would you like to hold the microphone?
No, I'm going to put it in the stand. Is that, would you prefer it like that, or would you prefer me to hold it?
Yeah. Testing, testing. Is this the right volume? Is that the right volume? Yes, okay. Now, this poem is called September the 1st, 1939. I sit in one of the dives on 52nd Street, uncertain and afraid, as the clever hopes expire of a low, dishonest decade. Waves of anger and fear circulate over the bright and darkened lands of the earth, obsessing our private lives. The unmentionable odour of death offends the September light. Accurate scholarship can unearth the whole offence from Luther until now that has driven a culture mad. Find what occurred at Linz, what huge imago made a psychopathic god. I and the public know what all school children learn. Those to whom evil is done do evil in return. Exiled Thucydides knew all that a speech can say about democracy and what dictators do, the elderly rubbish they talk to an apathetic grave, analysed all in his book, the Enlightenment driven away, the habit-forming pain, mismanagement and grief, we must suffer them all again. Into this neutral air where blind skyscrapers use their full height to proclaim the strength of collective man, each language pours its vain competitive excuse, but who can live for long in a euphoric dream? Out at the mirror they stare, imperialism's face and the international wrong. Faces along the bar cling to their average day, the lights must never go out, the music must always play. All the conventions conspire to make this fort assume the furniture of home, lest we should see where we are, lost in a haunted wood, children afraid of the night who have never been happy or good. The windiest militant trash importing persons about not so crude as our wish. What Mad Nijinsky wrote about Diaghilev is the true of normal heart. For the error bred in the bone of each woman and each man craves what it cannot have, not universal love, but to be loved alone. From the conservative dark, in the ethical life, the dense commuters come, repeating their morning vow, I will be true to the wife, I'll concentrate more on my work. And helpless governors wait to resume their compulsory game. Who can release them now? Who can reach the deaf? Who can speak for the dumb? All I have is a voice to undo the folded lie, the romantic lie in the brain of the sensual man in the street, and the lie of authority whose buildings grope the sky. There is no such thing as the state, and no one exists alone. Hunger allows no choice to the citizen or the police. We must love one another, or die. Defenceless under the night, our world in stupor lies, yet, dotted everywhere, ironic points of light flash out wherever the just exchange their messages. May I, composed like them of eros and of dust, beleaguered by the same negation and despair, show an affirming flame.
Wow, Pam, that was absolutely sensational. Ladies and gentlemen, Pam, amazing. That was so lovely. And Pam, apparently that was written on the first day of the Second World War. Yeah? Okay, well it does tie in with today. And a wonderful, wonderful selection for National Poetry Day. Thank you very much, Pam. Beautiful. Well, my philosophy on war is that they gave us a bit of a break after the Second World War. You know, there was just one or two wars like Korea and Vietnam and maybe Asia and one or two other places. But perpetual war didn't really kick in until about 1982 with the Falklands. And since then, we seem to have been in perpetual war. Why I don't like conservatives is that they actually do explain to children things like this. And of course, if you're very lucky, you can do very well in the armed services, particularly if you're a member of the royal family, and you'll get to wear a really smart uniform. Get married, billions of people will see you, including tens of millions of children, they'll see you in your uniform, and that will be another generation of state-sponsored murderers. Isn't it fabulous? I'm going to leave that with you. Because some of us, call me a hippie, call me a punk, call me a hybrid, some of us can actually imagine living on a planet where we're all just wearing, if anything, diaphanous robes, garlands of flowers, and where the worst thing you could possibly either do or say to somebody would be, boo. Not watch as I liquidize your children and bomb you and do whatever they're doing in a very complicated way in Syria and other parts of the world. I.e., we need to know what the truth is, what the real information is, and also know that we're never going to find it in a newspaper.
Yes.
Okay. I know I'm stating the obvious, but never read a newspaper and think that they have informed you. At best, they will have brainwashed you. Wipe your asses on it, put it on the compost, move on with your life. If any of you owe money for a TV licence, love to see you. Take your television, open a window and just throw it out. You don't need it. You might miss Downton for 1 or 2 weeks. But really, don't you think the episodes are pretty much the same? Oh yes, Lord Grantham. Yes, Lady Grantham. You are better than me, Lord and Lady Grantham. This is how it has to be. This is the natural order. There's always going to be hierarchy. There's always going to be people either better than, or richer than, or a combination of the two. I'm going to leave that with you. And it's so wonderful how our unelected head of state, who's also the head of the Church of England, has thrown open all of her homes for the refugees. The refugee crisis. A living example of how to be a humanitarian. Lovely to see you, Jonathan. Looking beautiful. I can read your energy. So, if anybody is looking for a good time later, go and see it. Because you seem a little bit mischievous to me. Okay. What about now, having a break? Because we've got so much to get through, haven't we, Nick, tonight? And can I also say a massive, huge thank you to our living artwork, beautiful person, our most trusted member of our family, the one and only, Pippa D. Always beautiful. And a massive thank you and compliments to Darren, who on a weekly basis has been working with Pippa, and together they're creating a living artwork every week, and it's very appreciated, Pippa, and I love you to pieces. And a massive thank you to all the bar staff. Before I have one glass of wine too many and I might forget, so I'm thanking you now. Okay, lovely to see you, Charlie. We'll have a short alcoholic break, and then after this, it will give me great pleasure to announce onto the stage living legend and all-round beautiful person, the one and only Dave Lynn.